How do you think about resilience now from the journey you've been on the last year or so?
Life is constantly going to throw challenges at you. It's about how you focus on becoming the best version of you. You have a plan, you have a goal, you have a steps. You can have a bad day, you can have a good day. No matter what, you got to stay consistent to the plan. We all have 24 hours in a day, but 24 hours is a lot. You can focus on your body, your nutrition, your social life. My community, they help me so much. They drive me, they push me. Nutrition, the reason why I eat so much impact is because the food is so good and it's fuel for my body to become so much better as an athlete, as a person. At the end of the day, you want to be happy about yourself and what you're doing. What I'm doing is what's making me happy.
Nice. You had a life-changing accident. Can you tell us about that accident?
Definitely.
Josh, your story of resilience, inspiration, and high performance is truly amazing. Thank you so much for being on the Impact Community Podcast. Can't wait to get to know you better.
Thank you so much for letting me be here. It's a great opportunity and I'm excited.
I'd love to start off from your childhood and learn a little bit about where you grew up and what some of your early passions were as a kid and teenager.
Sounds good. So I actually was born in England. So my mom came here when I was around 10, 11 years old. We moved to Ajax in the suburbs. It was very open space compared to London, England, where it was busy, crowded, weren't able to really go out as a kid or ride a bike. So when I moved to Ajax, it was just a fun adventure. I was constantly playing music, piano, manhunt with friends, run around the neighborhood. I got into sports fast, picked up a basketball for the first time since in England, every sport was soccer. We all played, I should say football, but
okay.
We were playing footy all the time. And then basketball, I kind of fell in love with that. And I grew up in Ajax, the suburbs. So it's kind of outside of Toronto. It's more open, adventure-y, like you have a forest, you have a park. You could go for a walk, 5 kilometers, bike to your friend's house, ring the doorbell, and just be in adventures all the time as a kid. So it's very fun.
That's awesome. Sounds like a great childhood. And I know in high school you were a 2-time athlete of the year. So after you came to Canada, you mentioned a lot of sports there. Where did your interest kind of focus in on in those high school years in terms of athletics?
So in high school, the funny thing is because I was also in music theater in high school. I was playing music. I was on a band. But I was really good at sports. So my coach actually got me kicked off of band so I could focus on sports. It started off with hey, I loved playing sports, but I was also really good at it. So that kind of got me excited. I pushed myself to new heights. I played every type of sports team that was possible. So track and field, rugby, football, I did basketball. I was just starting to play sports all the time and I loved it. It was my way of just having that sense of belonging, but also it was a purpose. It was something that was fun. I woke up, I was excited to do, and I kept on pursuing that even after school.
That's cool. What instruments did you play?
So I played, right now, which is funny, I'm actually taking piano lessons, but back in high school, I was playing the flute and clarinet.
Okay, cool. My son's playing the saxophone right now.
Okay.
And he's getting into it. So we see the both sides, the athletics and music, which I love in our household.
Oh, that's beautiful.
The late night saxophone practicing is interesting, but you gotta love it.
Just get a glass of wine and just listen to him play.
I don't know if we're at that level yet, but we'll get there. So I know resilience is going to be a topic we talk a lot about today. So can you tell me a story from those high school years, where resilience showed up in your life back then?
Definitely. So resilience is, it's kind of been my foundation since I was a young kid. Constantly playing sports taught me that, you're going to have those challenges, those tough times. We're not going to win every single game. You're going to have those tough practices. I've gotten concussions. I've broken my arm before, my wrist. I've learned how to recover from that, but also how to push through these challenges. So that way, the first year playing football, we're losing most of our games. The second year, you're growing, you're training harder because of that loss. It builds that sense of urgency to become better. And then that second year, you're winning more games, and you're becoming better. And it teaches you as a person that, hey, if I continue to work towards becoming a better person or a better athlete, even while facing these challenges and not getting where I want, eventually I'm taking the steps to get to where I need to be to eventually start winning. And that's kind of taught me and bleeded into my life and towards different types of, work and social life as well.
Yeah, that's great. And so I know team sports is great for leadership capabilities, and that's another common thread in yourself. How did those early years shape the leader that you've become today?
Oh, It shapes me in such a good way because, as a team player or a leader on a football team or, track and field, you're constantly motivating your peers, the younger athletes to, reach a certain goal, like a team goal. And that, it bled into my work because now I'm working as a manager where I'm motivating my team. We're facing challenges, but I'm used to that because while I was an athlete, we're constantly facing challenges. We're constantly motivating each other. We're constantly trying to become better as a unit rather than an individual.
That's great. So coming out of high school, what was next for you?
So coming out of high school, originally I wanted to become a lawyer. So I went to university for business admin, did my 4 years there, played rugby, did football on the side in the junior league for the CFL. And
where did you go to school?
Guelph Humber. So I went to
cool.
University of Guelph Humber. Had a lot of fun there. Was both some courses at Guelph and some courses at Humber. So I got both the degree and diploma. And I was still playing sports. I was still hitting gym all the time because that was the foundation of my personality, of who I was. But I was trying to become a lawyer. So I was doing a lot of studying. I was focusing on, hey, let me get my degree here so I could go to law school back in England. But after the third year, I did an internship with the company I work for now, Enterprise Mobility, and I fell in love with the company. So I just got stuck on the path, and now I'm bleeding green.
Okay, that's awesome. So yeah, tell me a little bit about Enterprise and what kind of hooked you early into that business.
So it's a culture where you're constantly developing and teaching your peers, and it's really like it's really a community where you learn how to work with others, but also you're motivating each other to reach the team goals. So you have that sense of sport playing field. So it related to the sports I played towards, reaching your team goals, motivating your employees, developing them, training them, but also it's a fun environment. Like the people there is what wins the job. It's a challenge too. Every day is different. You're constantly dealing with people, dealing with different cars, different problems, different issues, and you're constantly problem solving. And it's a lot of fun. But the people are the thing that changed the job. I love my coworkers. I love my boss. I love everyone who I work with. And I'm always that guy who likes to be around people and socialize. So it kind of just fit in perfectly for me. And then that was when I was like, you know what? This was the best internship I ever had. I don't need to go to school no more. I'm not going to do law school after this. I'm going to go full time right after school once I graduated, which I did.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So yeah, it sounds like from the high school years to university to Enterprise, your life was on a certain trajectory and you probably had a vision for what your life would become. And, in your mid to later 20s, you had a life-changing accident. Can you, tell us about, that accident and that time of your life?
Definitely. So I was focused. I had goals that year. It was the year of 2024, August 1st, so summer just started. And I had a motorcycle at the time, was riding a motorcycle to an appointment to meet one of my loved ones. And then that's when the accident happened. So the accident happened. I lost my leg on the scene. And then I was in a coma for a week. So I woke up a week later. Since I saw that my leg was gone during the accident, when I woke up, I kind of knew that there's a possibility that there wouldn't be a leg. So I was in the hospital, woke up, I saw loved ones around me. I constantly just wanted to talk to friends, family. I had a great community. Everyone from work was reaching out to me, my close ones, my supporters, which I really appreciate because they really helped me push forward from this moment of my life. And I was always used to like adapting. I had to learn how to adapt to, to reach to where I'm going to be or where I need to be. I had a lot of faith, so I always trusted that, whatever happens, but I have a great support system to lead me to where I need to be, and I know I'm going to be set no matter what just because of the people around me. So it was easier to recover from such a low state of where I was and the new person I was going to be, the new person that I saw that I become. And it was just constantly, like, it was a tough battle. It was ups and downs. It was a lot, but honestly, I'm happy for the loved ones I had around me to help me actually survive that moment.
Yeah, that's an incredible story and experience there. I'm interested from when you woke up from that coma and kind of realized your new reality. If you could kind of talk us through a bit of a kind of grieving process to then a reconciliation and then ultimately a path to thriving where you are today. Like, what was that like? And, how long did it take from when you woke up to, when you knew that you were on a new trajectory now in life?
Definitely. So I've always been the type of person where, I like to keep my emotions in and I don't like to show it out to others. So I'll try to play the tough guy. And it was really tough because at the start, like it was hard to, picture or envision the future. I was grieving at nights at the hospital when, I was alone and no family was there. Those are nights I was, talking to myself, thinking about everything and going through those emotions. It was hard to sleep because I was in a lot of pain. I was on a lot of medication. So that was when my mind was going off. And it was a journey. Like I kept on having faith. I kept on pushing myself, saying all the right things. But still, no matter what, sometimes the struggles that you're going through do overcome and do win. But as long as you keep going and keep going day by day, recovering, it gets better and better. So it's been up and down for, I'll say the most part of 8 months of the recovery. It was been up and downs. I had a lot of ups, had a lot of downs. But once I got out of the hospital, I was in St. John's rehab. I had my phone while I was in the rehab. I was going for my phone and I started looking at the Paralympics. So that started popping up on my phone, which I appreciate the algorithm because those guys are heroes. So that kind of inspired me again because now I'm seeing that, hey, I can still do the things I love. I can still play the sports. I'm seeing guys running on running blades. I'm seeing guys jumping. I'm seeing guys going on hikes and doing these adaptive sports. And it kind of got me to the point where I was like, you know what, this could be me. And now I have an envision. Now I could picture a future. And now I'm getting excited again. And now I'm able to slowly build myself up to be the guy I once was before the accident.
Well, it's so cool you took that mindset and that inspiration from para athletes, and I can tell just the way you're talking to me, that's drives your motivation. From that moment, your algorithm helped you out there, and you saw that. What was your first step? Was there someone you reached out to? Is there an organization that you contacted? What was that? I'm doing this. How did you go about it? Because you're doing it, so that's so cool.
Yeah. So luckily for me, after seeing that, it kind of reminded me of a friend that I had back in university. So I actually knew a guy that had a below the knee amputation, and I reached out to him. Just kind of gave him the heads up about what happened, and I knew he played for Team Canada for Sydney volleyball. So I was letting him know that I was kind of interested and kind of wanted to know more about the sport. And from that day when I reached out to him, I was still recovering, still, had a couple more surgeries, and I had to get my wound that was open to kind of close up. So this was around September time. It was April of 2025, the year after, that I was able to go to my first camp since he reached out to the coach, and then I tried out for the team there. And the biggest part about me is that even though I had to wait till I was recovering, it was on my mind, and that helped me recover faster. I remember being at the hospital and at St. John's doing sit-ups at night because I couldn't sleep, and I'm like, I'm already in pain, so I might as well just do something to help my body. But it's just the mind part of, hey, I'm gonna build back, I'm gonna be better, I'm gonna become strong again. And that's what kind of drove me to push towards this path of being a Team Canada player.
Wow, that's incredible, and the mindset and strength you have, is phenomenal. Resilience, we've talked about that already. Have you thought about comparing yourself from when you were in high school, university to today, and that resilience word? How has that evolved for you, and how do you think about resilience now from the journey you've been on the last year or so?
How I think about resilience is life is constantly going to throw challenges at you, and it's about how you stay consistent and how you focus on becoming the best version of you. And to do that, it's, you have a plan, you have a goal, you have the steps. It could be eating the right food, it could be working out, it could be drinking water, it could be doing more steps a day. You know what you need to do to become better. It could be reading a book. You just got to consistently do it no matter what challenges or obstacles come your way. So, you can have a bad day, you can have a good day. No matter what, you got to stay consistent to the plan. And that's what I've been doing. And that's what resilience is teaching me. It's to stay consistent to the plan and focus on becoming the best version of myself.
Well, that sounds like it can be applied to anyone and everybody.
Yes, it can.
All heart, part metal, a life philosophy and saying that you have now. How did you come up with that? And what does it mean to you personally to put that out there in the world?
Definitely. So it's my life. It's me. So all heart, part metal, the way I came up with it was because I haven't changed. I'm still the same person I am. The all heart part is me still being driven, me still being resilient, me still being first, and family. I'm still consistent on my plan and my goals, and I haven't changed. I'm still moving forward because of my heart. And then the mental part is, it's the obstacles that come in your way. It's the injuries. It's the things that, people can see, but it's not all of you. You're all heart, and I'm just part mental. So that's kind of how I created the philosophy.
I love it. So you're a Team Canada athlete now. What sports are you zoning in on preparing for 2028?
So I'm a Team Canada athlete now for sitting volleyball. It's a very fun sport. I'm loving it, but I've always been an athlete that loved to play multiple types of sports. So I'm playing sledge hockey for fun right now on weekends. But the main sport I'm really excited to try is 100 meter T63 running on a running blade.
Wow.
So yeah, I have one more surgery coming up. I'm excited for it because I know once that surgery is done, and then I can get my own prosthetic, I can get my own prosthetic cover, and that means I can get my own running blade. And once I get my own running blade, I'm going to be on the road all the time just running and sprinting.
Well, we can't wait to see that.
I'm excited too, trust me.
I've already in this conversation, you've mentioned community several times. What is the Team Canada community meant to you, and how are they supporting you through this journey?
So they're supporting me by, believing in me, seeing what I could do and pushing me to become better. But also I'm meeting other people with different types of disabilities, and they're positive, they're motivated, they're encouraging me. And it's reminding me that I'm not alone in this, because before my accident, I only met one other person with amputation. But other than that, I haven't really met other people walking with prosthetics. I haven't met other people with this type of disability. So meeting those players at a high, athlete level and be inspired by them and learning and working with them kind of inspired me again to, become the best version of myself. So I'm very excited about the community. I'm happy and thankful for them. And I'm excited to see where the journey goes with them as well.
Nice. I know another kind of new direction for yourself is publicly talking about your accident and using that like our conversation today to talk about things like resilience, mindset, performance. What have you learned about yourself, kind of putting yourself out there, getting out of your comfort zone, and talking about your story?
Yeah, I've learned that I'm unbreakable, and
I love it. That's amazing.
Like a challenge, anything that's tough, anything that makes you nervous, anything that kind of worries you, just do it. So I'm probably gonna be going skydiving sometime next year or the year after, but I'm excited to try new things and inspire as much people as possible, because I was once at that point where I was in the hospital, and maybe that person who inspired me, those Paralympians during the time of my life, are the reason why I'm able to get to this point in my life. So I want to be that for someone else.
You've talked about your family, your enterprise community. I know you're very involved in the health and wellness community, Team Canada. What strategies do you have to stay present with so many people and so many communities in your life? Like I know social connection and those relationships are so important to all of us. How do you think about how you divide your time and how you can give back to those communities as much as you're getting from them?
It's to focus on what matters, right? Like we all have 24 hours in a day, but 24 hours is a lot. You can focus on your body, your nutrition, your social life. You just have to make sure that it matters and it's important to you. And when it is, you're going to focus on those people. You're going to focus on those things that, make you who you are. And my community, they help me so much. They drive me, they push me. So of course I love my community and I'm going to reach out to them. Nutrition, the reason why I eat so much Impact is because the food is so good and it's fuel for my body to become so much better as an athlete, as a person. And the sports, the training, it's tough sometimes when I'm doing it, but once I'm done, I'm like, that was so good. I feel amazing. And constantly at the end of the day, you want to be happy about yourself and what you're doing. And what I'm doing is what's making me happy.
Nice. Well, I saw on your Instagram some epic travels and hiking. Where were you recently? Some of those photos looked absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, so I was actually in South America. It was a push. I was there with my best friends. I was hiking. I was trying to learn Spanish because most people only speak Spanish. I was eating different kinds of food, and I was really pushing myself because I was in pain, and it was my first big trip after the accident. But I was having so much fun, visually seeing so much beautiful sunsets and sights that, like, no matter the pain that I was going through, it was worth it. And that's kind of a reminder too about my life, is that you might be going through pain right now, but at the end of the day, the view you get at the end is worth it.
How do you go about now? It seems like this pushing out of your comfort zone, trying new things. Like, do you think that this accident has kind of almost turbocharge that mindset in yourself, and now you're determined to push further than you ever thought possible? It feels that way to me, but do you think about that?
Not really, but when I do think about it, it makes a lot of sense. And it's kind of like that big, huge jump or that leap of faith you make in your life. Sometimes you just have to go down to gain that power, and then you just shoot right up. So that downwards is kind of what kind of reminded me about my foundation, about who I am, about what I'm going through. And then it pushed me up to all these opportunities that I'm able to experience now. And now I'm excited for it.
Nice. Do you have any big adventures planned for 2026?
2026, possibly going to Japan or New Zealand with a couple friends. And other than that, I'm going to be like, I'm having a running blade. I'm going to be running anywhere, everywhere. I might take a weekend to Mexico to just run in the desert. I'm going to be running as much as I can, and I will be posting it for content.
Okay, well, we're excited. So the running blade, what does that process look like now? If that's like your end goal for this next kind of phase, I know you mentioned you have another surgery coming up. Is that specifically to prepare for this, or is it part of the healing journey? From today till you're running on a blade, what does that look like?
So it's both. So right now, what I've kind of been recovering from as well is this thing called heterotrophic ossification. So it's when your leg is in a traumatic state that it takes the calcium from the blood to grow its own bone. So it's technically my leg is trying to grow its own leg, which is kind of funny, but it's not going to grow a full leg, unfortunately. So it's growing this unstable bone at the end of my limb, and then that's causing pain. So it's a new bone, so it's not as strong as your other bones that you've been growing with your whole entire life. And it's constantly taking impact at the end, which stops me from, using the running blade, because once I have a running blade, I'm going to be taking a lot of impact, and that's going to be very painful. So this upcoming surgery is them going to be removing this bone because it finally stopped growing actually a couple months ago, thank God. So now I'm able to do the surgery to remove the bone. And once that bone is removed, once after the leg's healed, I'll get my new socket. I'll get a running blade set to my height, since my leg is not constantly changing shape from this bone growing. And then once I have that running blade, I can start doing the things that I've been, dreaming about and craving since the start of my accident.
Wow, what a process. But obviously proud that you're going through that. I saw you post something with the sled hockey. That looks so fun. How is it? I'm just so curious.
Oh, it's a lot of fun, and like anyone could try it. I do recommend you giving it a try.
Okay.
It's pretty much hockey in a sled. So you're sitting in a sled. You have pretty much a hockey stick cut into. It has blades underneath. You're pulling yourself. You're still able to hit like hockey. You're playing hockey, but you're in a sled and you're pulling yourself, and you're shooting with both the pucks, and you could try different types of tricks. It's fun. It's exciting. It's a team sport, so you still have that teamwork based, and it's honestly like you get a big hit, you're having a lot of fun.
That's so cool. I want to go back to your role at Enterprise and your leadership and mindset towards that job. How has that evolved through this accident? And are you approaching team meetings, speaking differently now than you were, say, 2 years ago? So
actually, I'm on a long-term disability right now, but I'll start back right after my surgery, once I recover from my surgery. And I'm excited because I learned a lot, and I'm a completely different person. The way I'm going to talk to my team, speak to my team, or talk to new people to inspire them, to develop them, to train them is going to be completely different. And as I said, like I've really got pretty much pushed down to my core, learned my foundations all over again, learned who I really am. And I'm excited for how work's going to be when I do get back, because I'm a completely different person.
So I want to double click on that. Like in your words, how do you feel like you're a completely different person?
So in my words, how I feel like I'm a completely different person is that now I know that I've been through the worst possible thing that could possibly happen in my life, and I've overcame it and I've recovered from it, and now I'm stronger. I can't picture anything else kind of like pushing me off of my path and stopping me from being who I am and being a positive person. So I'm able to smile through things that kind of maybe could have made me upset before. But now I'm like, you know what? Life's great. Life's short. I appreciate life so much, and I want to experience as much as I can. And I'm not going to let these small things affect how my mood is throughout the day.
Well, that's going to definitely make you a better leader, stronger leader, and an inspiring leader. So can't wait for that next phase for you.
Thank you.
Okay, Josh, the next part of the podcast is the impact community questions. So I know we've got from your community, the Impact community, and I'm going to read out these. These are somewhat rapid fire, but take as much time as you need to answer them, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, so what is your favorite lift in the gym?
My favorite lift in the gym is Bulgarian squats, because it's tough. It's tough for everyone, but that's the fun part about it. It's like, technically I've been doing it before without the limb loss, and now with the limb loss, it's still the same exercise. It's still tough. It's still hard, and it just inspires me to compete with the other person doing it beside me.
Wow, first person to ever say Bulgarian squats. Okay, what do people misunderstand about you most?
I guess the part people misunderstand about me the most is just because I am positive and happy all the time. They think that like it's me all the time, but I do go through those tough days. I have cried before. I am human. I am emotional, and I just keep picking myself up and show them who I should be and who I want to be at the end of the day.
Nice. What's your jump rope record?
Jump rope record? I could jump rope on one foot for up to like 2.5 minutes now straight without any mistakes. I've gone like 10 minutes, with breaks in between, but I could go 2.5 like nonstop without any mistakes.
Nice. Awesome. Your favorite menu item at Impact Kitchen?
Favorite, tuna bowl, ordering it all the time. And I'm probably getting the protein of salmon or the steak. Keep picking between the two.
Okay, great. Your all-time favorite book?
My favorite book, I haven't read in a long time, which is sad because I used to read all the time, especially in high school and university. But I used to love Harry Potter and Narnia. My parents got me the collections. And, it's adventure, it's fantasy. It gets me inspired.
Nice. Okay, your biggest shift in perspective from before the accident to after the accident?
So the biggest shift and perspective is now, before the accident, I'm young, I'm figuring out life, I'm going for my path. I had a future. I was like, you know what? Life is short, but it's also long at the same time. And then after my accident, I was like, life is actually very short. Appreciate what you have right now and focus on what you have, because you don't know how short it is. You don't know the last time you're going to experience it. Just love everyone around you and be the best person you could be right now.
Great answer. What are you most grateful for right now?
My family, my friends, my community. Love them.
Nice. Your biggest fitness goals for 2026?
Biggest fitness goals is I have a couple friends who, they could run. I want to beat them in a race with my running blade by the end of 2026, and they know who they are.
That's awesome. Your favorite cheat meal?
My favorite cheat meal. We all have cheat meals. I love burgers, so I'm getting a burger from this spot called Delirious. It's in Hamilton. Okay. It's a hidden gem, but it's a burger from Delirious.
Love it. Okay, how do you make an impact, Josh?
By being the best version of myself and showing people that you could stay consistent, you could stay faith-driven, you could support your family and community, and they'll support you back. And that's going to, bleed into others. Other people are going to see it, and they're going to be inspired to, do the same thing, and know that no matter what challenges or obstacles you face, just keep going. Just have faith in yourself, and never quit on yourself.
Thank you for that. Great answers. Okay, I want to get into the weeds a little bit and talk about some of your routines and habits. So the first kind of question I have to start this off is, you're preparing for the 2028 Paralympics. First on the physical side, like what are you doing now to prepare for that? And what does your, say, a week of training look like for you?
So the important things is, the training itself, the recovery, the nutrition. So right now, the physical training, I'm going to the gym 3-4 times a week, doing the heavy lifting. I'm doing skills trainings twice a week with the team, a couple players from Toronto while we're in the off season, working on the skills, the drills to become a better player. Recovery is so important. So I have those days where I recover, sauna, hot tub, pool, or just sleep and relax. Very important. That's how your muscles grow. That's how you become better and you learn. And nutrition, that's your fuel. You can't, if you're not eating the right things, you're not fueling yourself to be able to perform. And if you're not perform during practice, during work, during even your rest days, you're not going to perform in 2028. So you are what you eat. And that's why I'm really focused on nutrition, recovery, and strength training right now.
Nice. Okay, so let's go yesterday. Take me through a full day of eating. So let's start with breakfast.
Okay, so breakfast, I'm ordering like an omelet from Impact with a smoothie. I usually get the recovery smoothie just to start, or the green
Mighty Green?
Mighty Green.
So you go green.
Sometimes I go green.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
you got to have your colors while you eat.
Yeah.
And that's how I start. And then I wake up, do a little stretch after I eat. And then I go and do Pilates. So a fun thing I started was Pilates.
Very cool. Where do you do that?
I do it at Club Pilates in Mississauga.
Nice.
Recommended to me by my coach and my physician. So now I'm a Pilates prince.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm doing it with, you know, a lot of people that are, you know, they're having fun. It's a great community, laughing. But it's also like I'm building my glutes, my core, which is so important for using my prosthetic to walk. And I'm stretching that hip mobility and, you know, starting off the day right. So that way I could come back home after, do some research, watch some videos with track and learning how the blade works. And then I'll hit the gym later on and work out. And this is kind of a day where I don't have practice with the team, but it's just like my strength training day, which was yesterday. And
then so what's lunch look like for you?
Lunch, then I'm ordering, that's my favorite. So that's when I'm ordering my tuna bowl. So I'm getting like my protein is a salmon. I love salmon. And I'm getting like another smoothie as well. So I can get my protein up there. So I'm trying to hit 100 grams of protein a day.
Okay. And then, so post lunch, you're lifting. And then what does dinner look like?
Dinner, so I have a big lunch. And then dinner is probably just like one more smoothie before I rest, just because I am cutting right now. So I'm trying to lose weight. So I'll just order like another smoothie or maybe just drink a bit of water and then rest.
And then what's your kind of wind down routine at night look like?
So wind down, so that's when, you know, I'm trying to get into more therapy. So like learning myself, but like, you know, just being at peace. So a lot of breathing exercises. That's when I'm like listening to a lot of sounds, because sounds, you're touching your senses. So, you know, rain, forest sounds is very important to just connect with nature a little bit. And also just rest, just like, you know, just lay down and breathe and remember where I'm at and remember that this is kind of my recovery stage, but also it's the calm before the storm, because when I get at running blade, my lifestyle is going to change completely.
And then are supplements a big part of your life?
Yeah, so I am getting the protein, actually Impact Protein, and the protein shakes that I order. So that's with the recovery and the green, like I'm adding in a vanilla protein pack.
Great. So with all this work you're doing, do you get like body work? Do you see a physical therapist? What does that component of your training and preparation look like?
Yeah, so I'm seeing a physical therapist like once every 2 weeks right now. So it's kind of slowed down until after surgery, where it's going to be constant again. So that's usually on Tuesdays at Kinetic Labs. I usually get a massage right after. So they're massaging, you know, the very important areas, the tight muscles, especially since now that I have this one leg that I'm using all the time, every day, standing on, every time I stand up, I'm doing a squat on one leg, since that's the only one that's kind of working. So I need to take care of it. I need to focus on that recovery. I need to make sure that, you know, I'm not pushing it to the point of injury. So recovery is so important, and I am taking care of that. Yeah,
well, I'm glad to hear you're doing so much to take care of yourself. It's an awesome routine you have. Yeah. On the mental side of things, what is it like knowing that 2028 is, you know, couple years away? You've got all these goals you're working towards. Talk to me about do you journal? Do you have personal mantras? Like, how are you on the mental side of yourself taking care of things?
So I journal on Sundays. I got this booklet from Team Canada. We have, you know, I have a therapist recommended journaling too right after the accident. So it's been something that I've been forced myself to do every Sunday, and now it's kind of like a habit. I'm just talking about my day, how I felt, the ups, the highs, the lows, and reminding myself that, you know, I have a whole book and I'm only on the first couple pages. So it's a reminder that, you know, I got so much time to become who I need to be. Don't be urgent. Don't rush it. Just do the proper steps and take, you know, the rest days, take the patience to recover and slowly grow.
I find you mentioned their urgency, and that's something that I get stuck in a lot is, you know, that immediate gratification, or, you know, you want something to be accomplished quickly. And it's helped me to think about sometimes 5 or 10 year goals and kind of laying out like a longer term strategy for yourself. If we were to think about 10 years from now, like where do you see yourself going over the next 10 years of your life?
10 years, I can see myself still inspiring others, still working for Enterprise Mobility just because I love the company, I love the community. And I definitely see myself as a Paralympian. So I've already been to the Paralympics, inspiring others to, you know, others with disabilities to focus on those dreams, focus on sports, and helping as much kids as possible to be able to play adaptive sports, because sports has changed my life so much, and I want everyone to have the opportunity to be able to play no matter what kind of disability that they have for themselves. So I want to help in any way I can.
Well, that's amazing. So if someone comes to you and they're in a crisis moment of their life, it could be anything, let's just say, like how do you coach somebody through someone who's going through adversity?
It's by supporting them with the little things, because the biggest part is like the only person stopping you from moving is you. You have to believe it in yourself. No one can really push you to recover in that type of sense, because they're not you. They don't know what you're really going through. But having that support system, just being beside you, knowing that you have that kind of parachute just in case, and having those loved ones inspire you or let you know what you can do, who you can become no matter what, is so important. So I'll just remind them about the little things of, hey, this is your goal. These are the things you need to do to reach your goal. But, like just fight those battles, the small battles every single day, because you're not going to win the war on day one. The war might be won 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. But if you just fight those small battles, if you just show up for yourself, it could be a small little thing you change today. It could have been drinking a little bit more water. It could have been having one little healthy meal in a day. One little change constantly, if you stay consistent, will adapt to bigger changes in the future. So just focus on the small battles and don't have that urgency.
Yeah, it's such great advice. For yourself personally, like when you're going through, the emotional roller coaster that you've been on, and obviously probably still have those moments, do you have any tricks to kind of take yourself from maybe a low point to get back on track to a high point?
Yeah, it's just remembering the past, like the things that I've been, how low I've been and how I've recovered, and seeing how big of a jump I've made in such a short time. Seeing from, hey, I was like this a couple months ago or even a year ago when the accident happened, and now I'm already here. So seeing the huge difference is really inspiring me, but also seeing where I can be. The goal is 2028. The goal is to see how far I could push myself, how far I could push my body, how far I could push my community and the ones around me, and inspire them. And remembering that, I might be having a low day today, but it's not over. I still got tomorrow, still got the day after that, still got the day after that. Stay consistent, keep going, and you will see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Are you a believer that everything happens for a reason?
So, I believe like everything happens for a reason, and whatever happens. But also, no matter what happens, how you face it is really what's gonna be the outcome of your life. So no matter what happens in your life, who you are is always going to show, and it's always going to fight through all those problems and those challenges that you have to face. So just continuously, you got to stay down to the foundation of who you are, believe in your core foundations of who you are, and remember that you shouldn't change based on how life throws these obstacles and these adversities at you. Just try to be who you are, try to be positive for your community, and try to push through.
Well, Josh, that's a great message. I want to thank you for being on the podcast. I started it with inspiration, resilience, and high performance. And, I think the impact community is going to feel and hear those things from you, that you're a true source of inspiration. And I really love that, you've had this passion in you your entire life. And, now you're talking about it openly. You've got these amazing goals for the 2028, going back to work at Enterprise. And the impact you're having on your community and our community is awesome. And, I can't wait to see your journey continue. So thank you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. And I'm excited for the future. I'm happy that, I have this community, this impact community too, to be part of my journey and to see, and hopefully I can inspire others too to focus on your goals.
Thank you, Josh.